Today we're going to get into the difference between you and your ego. You know that loud voice in your head? The one that tells you you will never get better? Don't even try? That is a voice of your ego. So we're going to talk about the difference between you and your ego. At the end of the video, I'll share an exercise with you that has really helped me get past my ego. Hi, I'm Sonia Kuntz. I had a stroke in 2011 and I've been actively recovering from it ever since, despite all the doctors telling me that it is impossible to recover after the first 6 months. I am living proof that it is possible to reverse the effects of a stroke, and that's what we share on this channel.
Hi, my name is Peter Kuntz. I'm Sonia's husband. I've had more than a decade of experience as a nationally certified health and fitness trainer, specializing in biomechanics, which is a fancy way of saying how to move the body correctly. And I've been with Sonia every step of the way in her stroke recovery. The three things that we really focus on this channel are retraining the nervous system through proper body mechanics, mobility training modified for stroke recovery, and the benefits of being on the carnivore diet. If any of these topics interest you, then consider liking and subscribing to our channel so you don't miss anything. And quick disclaimer, we are not medical professionals and nothing we say on this channel is medical advice. So if you get into psychology, then the ego is a part of you. But we're going to relate to the ego as a distinct entity. Not saying that it is, we're just saying by relating to it this way, then you can get some facility in dealing with it. So the ego is a mechanism within every human being just for the purpose of survival, not thriving, not doing well, not succeeding, but surviving. And right now, if you're recovering from a stroke, your ego is crapping its pants because it's not surviving very well according to its own assessment. It's freaking out because you can't do what you used to do prior to your stroke. So it's basically just screaming and yelling all day. Don't take my word for it. So the ego is that voice in your head, like Sonia said, that voice that is constantly giving you crap talk, telling you you can't do something, telling you don't even try, telling you that you're a horrible person and totally incapable. If any of this sounds familiar at all, that's your ego. Here's how your ego works in basic terms. It yells, it insists, more than anything, it argues all day like a maladjusted child. Like a maladjusted 8-year-old, it just argues and argues and argues, and it tells you how things are. Yeah. They're not really how things are, but it's gonna tell you, damn it. And it can really be a bully.
It is a bully. Yes.
It is a bully.
Yeah.
And so with that voice going on so loudly in somebody's head, especially when they're recovering from a stroke or from some other kind of major setback in life, then it's important to start distinguishing between your ego and that voice and you at your core. And by facilitating or by distinguishing this and by practicing being able to identify, okay, what is talking to me right now? Oh, that's my ego. Okay, I don't want to go by my ego's advice. Sometimes your ego might bring up a good point or something like that. Cool, make a mental note, but don't go with its advice because it gives crappy advice like it's its job. So that's what we're talking about with the ego versus the self. When you get in contact, when you start connecting and building a relationship with aspects of your actual self that has your best interests in mind, like recovery, for example, then you can start distinguishing, oh, there's one voice that's in my head that's yelling and screaming and arguing, and the ego doesn't always yell and scream. But
most of the time
it usually does.
Most
It's
of the time
usually
it
very,
does.
but it's never quiet, and it always argues. There's another voice that you can hear that always sounds grounded. Sometimes it's quiet, sometimes it's matter of fact and just comes at you. I heard a voice that said this, and it doesn't argue.
No.
It's grounded. That's the big difference between a voice inside you that you want to listen to and your ego, which is just going to argue all day. No, don't do this. You're this.
No,
It's
you
because
can't
of
do
that.
it.
This is why.
Yeah.
This is why not. This is all these reasons. That's the ego all day, every day. It really gets tedious.
Yeah.
But we all have one, and we're not going to get rid of it because that's just part of what's going on in us as human beings.
So, we have a exercise to do. So just so when you can say, okay, is that me, or is it my ego? Okay. So, very first one. I want to say this very
Directly.
directly. There we go. Directly. You had a stroke. Now, okay. Now listen to me. What was his first response?
The first reaction.
Yeah. What was it? Your voice saying, I know how to have a stroke. Everyone knows how to have a stroke.
Yeah, that's your ego.
There you
Notice
go.
how it's all argumentative.
Because I'm going to bet money that every single one, including me, didn't want to hear it. Didn't want to hear the fact that I had a stroke.
You know that you had a stroke.
Yeah.
But what's going to make all the difference in your recovery and the speed of your recovery, your ability to move forward, is not your ability to understand the knowledge
Yeah.
that back there
Yeah.
in history, in the books of history, you had a stroke at that time on that day,
Yeah.
wherever you were.
Yeah.
You know that. That's
Yeah.
details. You need to get it.
Yeah.
You need to allow yourself to get it. And your ego doesn't want you to get it. Your ego is afraid of you getting it because it's just freaking out, because that's what it does in situations like that. So it freaks out. And so when you say, okay, I had a stroke, and then what comes up is, this is stupid. This doesn't have anything to do with anything. I know I had a stroke. Why would it do that? For survival. It's afraid of going anywhere deeper because you haven't accepted it yet. When you can get it, like in your bones, when you can fully accept the fact that, okay, I had a stroke. This is where my arm is right now. This is where my speech is right now. And just allow it to be there. Allow yourself to be exactly where you are, physically, mentally, emotionally.
Yeah.
If you're emotionally getting the crap kicked out of you right now, and you're like, I wake up every day and I think, and I have no good outlook on life. I might be suicidal. I might, okay, and why? Because this is going on, and I can't, and with aphasia, I can't even communicate well, or maybe not even at all. You might not have a physical voice. If that's what's going on. Yeah, she didn't. She had a little bit
Very.
at first, but at best it sounded like a mouthful of potatoes.
Yeah.
Try and understand that from anybody outside of her, trying to understand that it's very, very challenging.
Yeah.
But that's where she started, and she didn't really make any real progress until she was able to start allowing herself
It's
to just
accepting.
accept. This isn't necessarily good or bad. I feel however I feel. I feel like it's bad. I feel like it's this, whatever. My thought, my judgment about it, which is all ego-based, again, ego is not good or bad either. It's just, it serves its purpose, but it likes to leave its lane. It likes to try and be in charge of everything, and that's where things get messy.
Yeah.
So this is what's what right now. Whatever it is, wherever you are, you want to start practicing accepting what's what right now.
Yeah.
And so this is what we're talking about. This is why it's so important to distinguish what is the voice in my head? Oh, that's my ego's voice talking to me.
Right.
Or this is something else. This is voice of truth. You can call it a whole bunch of different things. Your higher self, your soul, God, the universe, great cosmic muffin in the sky, your body. We'll get into that in the next video. Whatever. But at the end of it, is it your ego talking, or is it the truth?
Yeah, so I want you to go. Now, this is, if you can, I'm going to say this right now, then go to the mirror, whatever, if you just, a regular mirror, or in your bathroom, or
put your cell phone up
right
and put the front camera on, so it's like you're looking at a reflection of yourself.
And look at you with your eyes. Focus on your eyes, okay? Don't look around. I want you to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I had a stroke. And repeat that. I had a stroke. I had a stroke. I had a stroke. Now, some people don't want to do it. They refuse. They will say, no way. If that is you, that's okay. Don't look in the mirror. Do it just where you're at, when no one's around you, no one can see you, and do the same thing. I had a stroke. I had a stroke. I had a stroke. Okay?
If you can say this out loud, it's that much better, because you're speaking, you're hearing with your ears, you're hearing your own voice physically in the physical world. Say it.
Yeah, but back in the day, I couldn't say it.
No.
So don't worry about it. I mean,
So she said that very clearly, intentionally, in her head.
In my head, okay? Because anyone who's had aphasia, you can say anything, everything.
Until it gets your mouth.
It's just between your head and your mouth, it has no cord. Or the cord is just, kind of damaged. So my point is, you can say, I had a stroke, even if it's in your mind. Mm-hmm. You know what you're saying, okay? But the reason, or the thing with that is yesterday, okay?
Mm-hmm. Just yesterday.
Yeah, just yesterday. All right, I was in the bathroom.
Backyard, right behind us.
Yeah, and I was kind of getting down on myself, because we were supposed to film yesterday.
Supposed to film this video yesterday, according to our plan.
Right, but
we've had just so much going on this weekend.
Yeah.
And the night before, then we had to stay up late to get a bunch of things done.
Yeah, and we said we were going to do it, so we did it, all of it.
Yeah, we got done everything we needed to.
But then I went to bed at 12:30, which was really late for me. I do not I can't wake up, not with the kids, not enough sleep. There you go.
But we still had to wake up with the kids.
Yeah, I mean,
because the kids don't care. They're still kids.
Yeah, the kids just say they're gonna be kids. So anyway, I had to get up at 5:30. So I was tired, and because it's me, the first thing that happens, I can't talk, or it's very hard for me to talk. And so we realized there's no way I'm filming that day, because I just can't,
not gonna happen.
So I came out here, and I was just very, just getting down on myself, saying, see, why do you even bother? This
is the ego in her head talking to her.
Yeah, this is stupid. You should just forget it. Nobody's gonna listen to you anyway. You're not a doctor. You're not a nurse. You're, blah, blah, blah. Just, And finally, after, a couple minutes, then I realized, wow, this is me still that thing about me having a stroke. Now, it's been years since I had done this before, but I realized that's what was happening right now. I realized if I didn't have a stroke, then I would, I would be tired, but I would do it anyway, you know. And it's,
and that was the point, that her ego was really trying to make mean something.
yeah, like it means something, you know, like, and so I went in the middle of my backyard and said, I had a soak. I had a soak. I had a soak. And I repeated that mantra for, you know, however long, until it was funny. It was funny. After a while, it's just funny. And they were really like, why am I saying this? Why, like, and it was the most hilarious thing in the world. And I knew at that point that it didn't have me. I had it. And that is what the exercise is about. I want you, whatever, I'm not saying it's going to go away.
It won't go away.
It won't. It's
It'll
not
never
going to
go
go away. But you
it
can
won't be so loud.
On top of it and go off with your day. Just say, you know, laugh, say whatever, and go on away, and everything is great. Or just constantly, I can't do it. This is hard. This is horrible. You know, which one do you want to do? So that is the exercise today. I want you to go, like I said, either do it on your own, or if you can, I highly recommend go in the mirror, you know, whatever, your phone, your bathroom, you know, whatever, and just say it. And we would love to, you know, comment and let me know how it was. If you have questions,
if it just pissed you off,
which honestly, it will for probably a lot of you. You might cry. You might cry, like,
there's
and
a
then
very
just
strong
can't
possibility
do this.
of that. All of it's okay,
Yeah.
especially with looking yourself in the eyes and mirror. Then you're doing, the purpose of that is you've got complete focus, telling yourself, cutting past everything, cutting past the ego, cutting past, no, I don't, I'm afraid to, like, I'm really uncomfortable with just being that honest with myself. That's the point.
Yeah,
that is the point. And so what might be there is tears. What might be there is rage. What might be there is you might hysterically laugh and you don't even know why. It could be anything. You could get so scared that you just want to crawl into your bed and hide.
Yeah.
All of that's okay. The point is, crazy dog. The point is that's there until it can get out.
Right.
Those emotions, those thoughts, those reactions, whatever is there, all of that is part of what's keeping you from being able to just get what is going on now, so you can deal with it. And when you can deal with what's going on now, you can take that and move forward in your life and in your recovery.
Yep. All right. I think that's it.
I think that's it.
All right. I love you.
You guys are awesome.
Mwah.
See you in the next one.